Erin Andrews. Remember Erin Andrews, local girl? Did she go to like Durant High School or something?
She went to Bloomingdale.
Bloomingdale. Okay. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. So
Her
Erin
father, Steve Andrews from News Channel 8.
Right. He retired though.
Did he?
Yes.
So, yes,
Okay.
Steve Andrews from Channel 8, WFLA TV, long time, I mean, decades-long reporter.
He was a pro's pro. He was a great reporter.
Well, I mean, you look at some of, and there are a few of the old-school reporters left on some of the local stations, but for the most part, I've talked about this, the new batch of reporters.
They're the best.
So
good.
Some of the new reporters are just awful. It's like, they're in market number 12 or 13. I mean, we're a market of like 3 million people. And some of the reporters that are getting gigs in Tampa Bay television, it's like, my God, what, you skipped Coeur d'Alene altogether? I mean, wait, you didn't work in Wichita Falls for 4 years to get, I mean.
Coeur d'Alene, it's a big city.
I mean,
that's like the third biggest city in Idaho.
I mean, some of the people that are showing up on local news are just terrible. They're green. It's like you needed to be in like 3 smaller markets for like 8 years to kind of hone your skills. And even then, some of them wouldn't even make it. But right now, you got folks getting jobs in this big TV and radio market that just don't belong at this level. The quality of local news reporting and these reporters, it's just hit like rock bottom. It's like awful. And part of it is probably, they're not paying much. You look at reporters and they were making more money, 15, 20 years ago than they're making now. Radio is, no bucket of money like it used to be. I mean, the good old days are gone. I'm thankful for a bunch of really, superb years.
I'm thankful for none.
Right now, this is like a charity case for me.
I mean, MJ actually...
I feel like I'm donating my time at a soup kitchen on a Sunday morning over here.
MJ walks around the hallways of the radio station with a little tin can clinging change, walking by the traffic reporter.
Little pencil can going on. All right, so back to Erin Andrews. How did I get derailed? Oh, because we're talking about Steve Andrews.
And then what hacks replaced him.
Yeah.
He retired in 2020.
Yeah, Steve Andrews was a solid reporter, and of course, his daughter is Erin Andrews. The famous sideline reporter, Erin Andrews. And she was just recently on a podcast.
Her podcast.
Yeah, it's her podcast. She does it with a...
So it's her and
Thompson.
Carissa Thompson.
Yep.
And the podcast is called Calm Down.
Mm-hmm.
And she revealed, but she didn't mention a name, but she didn't have to.
Right.
She talked about a Buccaneer that just made her cry. I mean, just beat her down.
When she was like 20 years old.
Yeah.
What?
So on the podcast, she talks about how she had a Tampa Bay Buccaneers player that reduced her to tears, ripped her apart, was so nasty to her in her early days. She didn't mention which Tampa Bay Buccaneer it was, but I'm telling you right now, I would put $10,000 on the table that we know who it is. Hold on, get to that in a second. So I guess a listener to the podcast asked if they've ever cried at work. And then Erin Andrews, is this the audio? Do you have the audio bite?
Yeah, I got to refresh it.
All right, so refresh the bite. Bring up the audio so you can hear this. All right,
All right.
let
me find it.
I'm sure she cried after that horrible peephole incident.
Just
Yeah,
push
right. She's had
play.
some bad stuff happen to her.
Just push play. So play the audio there. And, she goes into how she was reduced to tears.
Yeah.
Oh, Erin.
And she says, yeah, this happened to me at 19 or 20 years old. I was working freelance for an Orlando station, and they wanted sound from the Bucs locker room.
Here's a clip from this show.
A particular player was so nasty to me. Do you have? All right, hit play. Hit play and
Yeah, this has happened to me.
Here we go.
From S. Rogi, question for the boss babes. Have you ever cried at work, and how do you keep it all together when you are just so overwhelmed and you want to jump into a hole and hide? Before I was an intern. No, I wasn't an intern. I was working kind of freelance for an Orlando station, and they wanted sound from the Bucs locker room, and a particular player was so nasty to me. He physically turned his back away from me in the middle of his scrum. He also told me to go back, rehearse my question, and come back when I was ready. I was mortified.
Stop.
I was 19, 20 years old. I had practiced. I did slip up a little bit. I stumbled. He knew it. He knew I was young. I instantly started having tears come down my face. And 2 players in particular, Derek Brooks and John Lynch, saw it, pulled me over and said, "What do you need?"
Oh my God, Erin.
Royalty.
That's incredible.
All right, so
Oh my God, it's so Warwick
hold
Dunn.
on. Those no, it's
I think it's Brad Johnson.
No, it is not Warwick Dunn. And you heard what she said about Derek Brooks and John Lynch. 2 class acts.
Totally.
Class personified, I'd say.
2 nice guys.
Would you?
Derek Brooks and John Lynch are 2 nice individuals. There is no doubt in my mind who she's talking about. Let's all say it at the same time. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Paul
Warwick.
Gruber.
Yeah, I'm going with.
I
Going with the
Paul
groups?
Guys,
Yeah.
come on. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Brad Culpepper.
All right.
Tony Mayberry.
Guys,
Tony
come
Mayberry.
on.
Let me
Brad
tell you.
Culpepper saves little
Listen,
animals.
kidding,
I'll
Brad.
tell you right now.
No.
I love Brad.
No. It's the curling guy that
Oh,
Culpepper curling.
that takes stuffed animals out of mangled car crashes and brings it back to the 3-year-old kid.
I don't
Get that
know.
body. Get the bait. Get
I don't
the
know if
goal.
this is true, but I heard Ian Beckles was a real jerk around the locker room.
Still is.
Yeah, still is. Yeah.
Ian Beckles is a nice
love Ian.
guy.
I love Ian.
All right, hang on. Seriously. All kidding aside. Ready?
Yeah, okay.
Which Bucks player? All right,
come on. Number 99,
all right,
man.
The joke
Come
is
on.
done. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Warren
Warren
Sapp.
Sapp.
Gruber.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, hold on. Why didn't you say it?
I already
Because
said
No,
that.
I
Roxanne,
told-
why didn't you say it?
Because I've told so many stories about him. Like I of course I know that.
Yeah, it's
he's done worse to me.
Oh,
he's
come
done
on.
worse to other people.
It had to be Warren Sapp.
100%.
Warren
I sent
Sapp,
you guys I sent you the story yesterday afternoon.
He's been nasty to you.
Big time, nastier than that. I mean, he chased me down the
What?
tunnel at the.
Roxanne has the most backward ass weird Warren Sapp story to where it offers him mortgage advice from Roxanne. It's the craziest story.
Warren Sapp chased you down the
Yes,
tunnel. Did
yes.
he then say, "Hey kid, catch," and threw you a jersey?
Oh,
No, he told me he hoped I went broke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on.
but way to put that out into the universe and have it come back to you, Mr. Sapp.
He told you he hopes you go bankrupt?
Yes, he did. Yes.
Well, wait, what was the context of that?
Speaking of going bankrupt, I was in the running to buy all of Warren Sapp's Air Jordan sneakers, size 15, in his bankruptcy proceedings.
Stop it.
That's right.
Because I have size 15 feet. I was,
What?
I was like, honey, I could buy 200 pairs of Jordans for like $3,000.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just had a reputation. He would make kids cry during his heyday with the Bucks. You know, kids would be looking for his autograph, and he'd look at the kids and say, "Get lost." Just I think seriously. Just get
out of here,
You got a
punk.
7-year-old kid in a Bucks hat and jersey looking for Warren Sapp's autograph, and Warren Sapp would just short of pluck him in the eyeball. It's.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
I
funny.
think Warren's mellowed out a little bit in his old age.
So hold on, I want to hear your story.
Yes.
Tell me again how Warren Sapp hoped that you went broke.
Well, it all started very similar to the Erin Andrews situation where he was, and although she hasn't identified him, she didn't need to, like you said, MJ. And we were in one of those media huddles, and I was there as an intern for Fox. Was it Fox 13 or I can't remember. But in any case, I'm holding my microphone, and it's hard to squeeze in there. And I'm sort of a tiny person compared to a lot of the, it's mostly men in there. And so I kind of sit down near the locker room because there's a little bench right there to give somebody else more room. And he comes and screams at me. We were talking to Simeon Rice at the time. And in the middle of this interview, he comes over and starts screaming at me, "Can't you stand up to do your job?" And so I was...
How does that then morph into he hopes that you have financial trouble?
Because I wrote him a 3-page letter.
Oh, God.
So Roxanne takes to pen and paper
Yes,
You
I
showed
did.
him.
I did.
and wrote a letter
I used a quill pen and parchment.
Yes, where's my bottle of ink?
to where the Buccaneers media director contacts her and says, what the hell are you doing?
Let me tell my story,
Tell your story,
Fester.
please, get to
So then the media director at the time...
Did you seal the letter with sealing
Wax.
with sealing wax?
I did, yes.
And her family crest.
Your personal family crest embossment.
Exactly.
All right, go ahead.
Exactly. So they're like, "Roxanne, we'll we'll call you later. We'll talk to you later. Well, they called me later, but not soon enough because I'd already FedExed it to him. He got it the next day, and then they called me. They're like, Roxanne, Warren got your letter.
Did they ban you from the locker room?
No,
after
because I
that?
sent them a copy of it too.
Okay.
I've sent the copy to the PR department. I sent him a copy just so that we're all on the same page. And so he read this 3-page letter, and it was basically like, I'm not going to put up with your crap just because you're rude to me. I have plenty of other people in that locker room I can talk to. You're not going to bully me. I love what I do. No, whatever. And so then when
he said, bitch, I hope you go broke.
Yes. So then
Hold on.
Shut up, broke bitch.
It gets better. It gets
Yeah,
better.
yeah, it
Roxanne
gets better.
is moonlighting as a reporter and in the mortgage industry.
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
so,
Go ahead.
Exactly. So because you have to you don't get paid when you first start in this
don't
job.
Explain it. Let's go.
So I'm working at a mortgage company. So at my last line in the note is like, hey, by the way, if you ever need to refinance your home, I'm also a mortgage broker too. And so gotta put it out there. So then the big Atlanta Falcons game when the Bucs played the Falcons and he scored a touchdown. And he was doing the Beyonce dance in the end zone. And so then after the game, the Bucs they're so happy. Everybody's happy and jubilant. And so my photographer who was with me, I'm like, watch, Warren's going to try to beat my ass. I promise you. And sure enough, we get through the whole thing and I'm walking down the tunnel and you hear clump, 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 clump. And I just turn around and he's behind me chasing me down. And he's like, hey, I got your letter. And I was like, okay.
Warren
All right.
Sapp, yeah.
And he's like, I hope you go broke at your mortgage company.
Oh, my God.
I would say the exact same thing if somebody wrote me a letter condescending.
And then-
Listen, I hope you go
yeah.
broke. Tough crap.
And then the funniest thing is he's like, every time he would see me after that, like,
I hope you get butt cancer. You know what I mean?
Whoa,
I
hey,
mean,
hey, whoa,
I mean,
that's-
that's just
seriously,
rude.
seriously.
Really?
And then every time he would see me after, he'd be like, 2%, 3%. He just like shout off random percentages. Like
What, like mortgage rates?
Yes, exactly.
That
And then,
sounds
you know,
hysterical. I mean, that actually makes me like Warren more.
Well, the thing is he absolutely knew how to turn on the charm anytime the national press came in his
Did
house.
he get better? As he aged, did he get nicer? Like,
Well, the last time I saw him, I was walking through a hotel in the Bahamas with Derek and Doug. And he came running over to Derek to say hi. And so I saw him. And so it was very like.
Did he
civil.
recognize you?
Of course. He knows who I am.
Did he start
And
spewing
then-
out percents? Like, oh, interest rate 6.25 for a 30 year.
No, not in that setting.
What's the rate on an adjustable arm?
No. But prior to that, I think I did an interview with him at a Super Bowl. And he was fine and we were fine. So, whatever. But
For
he-
most of his career, not a nice guy. Erin Andrews had a run-in, and our very own Roxanne Wilder had several run-ins, and he hoped that you went bankrupt and broke.
Dude, listen, Roxanne.
Which kind of
kudos.
the irony is, he had financial
He
troubles
went ba-
himself.
He filed bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I put in a couple offers to buy all of his Jordans. Roxanne, good job always prospecting, though, for the mortgage business.
Right?
Yeah, you got to talk
Right?
to everybody.
Just talk business.